and I'm fully loaded and I'm ready to empty myself tonight to show you some of the secrets as a career person. So tonight I'm going to be speaking on creating wealth as a career person. Creating wealth as a career person. I want to believe that every one of us, or majority of people that are on the group tonight, are actually career people in one way or the other, and we do have entrepreneurs. As I always say in every area, that there are only three portals in this life to be wealthy. Number one is either you are wealthy through entrepreneurship routes, which is one portal, and another route is you investing, which is investment portal. And the third route is either you are actually becoming a career person and creating wealth through that career. Permit me, I'm just going to share what the Bible says in the book of Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7. Proverbs 4, verse 7. I'm just going to read just the first area. And my King James Version Bible says, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. And it says, and with all understanding, with all thy gettings, get understanding. That is for my KJV version, and my NCV version, New Century Version, say wisdom is the most important thing. So get wisdom. It said if it costs everything you have, get understanding. My American Standard Version Bible also say wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. Yea, with all thy getting, get understanding. My NIV version also says the beginning of wisdom is this, get wisdom. It says, though it costs all you have, get understanding. My New King James version also says wisdom. That is Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7. It says wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. And in all you're getting, get understanding. My Amplified Bible version also says the beginning of wisdom is get skillful and godly wisdom. It is premeditated, and with all your acquiring, get understanding, which is actively seeking spiritual discernment. And also, the New Living Translation also said, get wisdom is the wisest thing you can do. And whatever else you do, develop good judgment. The last version of Bible I'm going to be reading today, which is Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7, the Passion Translation. It says, wisdom is the most valuable commodity. So buy it. Revelation knowledge is what you need. So invest in it. Tonight, we're here to discuss about creating wealth as a career person. I always say something every time, that when people don't pay for something, they can't get it at all. But when they don't pay attention. And in life, no one can become rich and wealthy through salary alone, through only job. There's difference between job and there's difference between career. But tonight, we're going to be looking at some of those pillars and some of the things that needs to be done for us to be able to get to that place where you can turn that profession into a business and also getting the business of that profession or that career that you are actually practicing or that you're studying for. When you look at it, a lot of people always say salary, salary, salary. It's a wage that they pay you. And by the time they pay you because of your time, and it's more or less like slavery. But it is not always the case. Because salary can become a tool if you know what your journey to wealth creation are. And if you are wise enough, you'll be able to use that salary to become something better in the future. There are things we all need to know. And there is this other myth as well that people always say, that sometimes they pay you that salary for you to be able to forget your time, your dream. But reverse is the case. It is a wrong myth. It's a wrong thing that people always say in the professional world or in the world of entrepreneur. Just like as I said when I started this evening, just a few minutes ago, I said there are only three medium that you can actually become more wealthy. Is that you become wealthy through the portal of you becoming an entrepreneur. And the second one is for you to become an investor or an investment specialist. Investing your money, sending it on assignments that you can actually get more value and the created impact in the society. And the third portal is that of the career portal. So I'm going to be focusing more on this career portal. And also, some say they are entrepreneur in most cases in these days that we're in. When you go to so many places, most people always go, when you meet them, they tell you, oh, sorry, they dress very posh, very too short. I'm an entrepreneur. And what they do is that they just give you complimentary card. This is my complimentary card. And they're looking very touche, very posh. When you look at them, their suit is on point, but it's not matching what is in their bank account. And in this day and age that we're in, there is a lot of guys or a lot of folks out there. When you look at them, even what they say is different from what they practice and what they do. And I always tell people in life that whoever is going to be speaking into your life, you must make sure you know the kind of who they are, do a background check about them, and make sure they've actually ascertained the kind of level that you want to ascertain. And this day and age, there's a lot of things out there. We have a lot of data. People work in banks, though I do know there's copy act and things like that. But make sure you verify before that person can actually be speaking into you or becoming your mentor. So instead of getting a job in most cases, I always tell people that no good turn deserves another. And there are 10 different steps I'm going to be speaking on tonight as a career person. So regardless of where you are, you can reinvent yourself. And the journey of you becoming wealthy in life, it only takes 3 to 5 years. If you are dedicated, if you are disciplined, if you reinvest your time and reinventing yourself and recreating and procreating, and also multiplying and practicing the kind of discipline in different areas. I tell you, friends and families, colleagues, zillionaires, I tell you tonight, you'll be able to have where you want to be in the next 5 years. Because it is sanity for you to be repeating what has been done in the past. And it's not yielding a better result for you. And when it's going to be yielding a better result for you, you've got to make sure there is a dynamics to those areas. Number one is that you need to start early. One of the days where I used to tell people that if it's from 0 to 25 is the age where you want to be able to study. Give yourself to primary, from nursery to primary, from primary to college, from college to varsity. And as at the age of 21 to 25, you should be in your first career journey. Because the earlier you enter into that career, the better you're going to be able to get to where you want to get in that career, to become a specialist or to become a senior executive or a senior director or management in that company that you're going to be working for. Starting early. Many people do not know that spending more time of their life when they are still single at that very, very early age, experimenting, looking at different areas, seeing things that have been done, and by living that life of creating and also reinventing and rediscovering themselves over and over. And that is the only way that you can actually grow as a young person in a career world. When you are alone, you have more times to be able to rise and fall, to be able to put yourself together, to be able to recreate and remold yourself when you are starting early. Self-deception is the highest form of deceiving oneself in everything we do in life. Sometimes a lot of people say, no, you know what, I've arrived. I actually know, but you don't say you know. You have to unlearn on a daily basis to learn a new thing. The reason why a lot of people still become far is because they're not actually learning the new thing and also relearning what they've learned before. Because what you know yesterday is actually outdated tomorrow. And your future that you created is actually what you are doing today that's going to be yielding out the results for you in the future. So, you know, by that as you are growing old on a daily basis, when you look at the pyramids, the rectangle pyramids in the world of works, we do have the low level If you divide a pyramid into three, let me just look for a pyramid diagram to show you what I'm talking about. When you look at the pyramid diagram, there are three forms as a career person if you want to be able to rise to the top. Right, I'm just going to show these particular pyramids for everyone to be able to comprehend it, because I want to be able to place that picture in your mind tonight. Because when you focus on this pyramid as starting up as a career person in early life, you'll be able to know how to be able to get more time and to dedicate yourself into what you are doing. So in the pyramid of career, in the low level, when you look at it holistically, those that are at the bottom here, they're either cleaners or junior staffs or so and so on and so forth. Everyone always gets into a job by entering as early as possible, maybe as a 21 or as a 20, or it depends on where you finish, that you get into. Junior staffs are always on the middle level. And the higher you go, the fewer it becomes. And when you look at it, the middle level in most cases are always middle managers. And these are people that actually go home with an average salary above those that are on the ground routes. And the fewest one at the top here, these are people that earn much. Those are people that go to work, that make decisions, that take meetings, that see how they can actually impact. And for you to be able to rise from the lower level, from a junior staff to a senior staff, you've got to do what I call reinventing yourself of 13 to 15 years, at least on the average from research. It takes about 15 years to be able to climb to the senior role if you want to become wealthy as a career person in life. When you look at what I'm saying tonight, when you do what you want to do, those are people, the people at the top, those are people that spend more time in the nights. They spend more time late at work. They give it all it takes. They put everything it takes to become more better and of value, of great assets in everything they do. They are not people that go to work and they say, you know what, after 4 p.m. they're off. They are people that have actually buried themselves in that career and developed themselves over time. And when you look at it, they move from most of them start from the junior to the middle level, from middle level to the senior end. Before you know it, because that senior level, that is the realm where they actually make more money. At that point, you see them, they maybe own shares in that company, they make decisions in that company, they have time, they have experimented a lot of things, they make decisions, and most of their lives are being channeled or funneled or supported by the company. They have executive cars, they have executive homes, and things like that. Holidays, medical bills, medical aid, insurances, and so on and so forth as at executive level. Now, when you look at what I'm talking about, if you're starting your career as an accountant, there is a difference between you starting as an accountant. There is a profession of you saying you as a career person, you can become an accountant, and in that accountant, you can create a profession from that career. For everything we study in school, for everything you do on daily basis, there is always a professional side of things. There is a business side of things to that thing. No matter how it is, it always takes one to be able to imagine it. Because when you imagine it, you can actually get it. When I started very early in life, my very first job as a project manager in the national ed sector, I was actually rounded up my study, and I was told I had about 4 offers. One was a system support analyst, one was a programmer, and one was a manager. When I look at the prospect of everything, because in England, where I wanted to work, where every other one were saying they want to work in oil and gas, I said, you know what? I want to work in a multinational organizations that I can be making decisions. And this is what I do today. I got into there and I rose to the pinnacle of that career within 10 years as a director. Then I resigned when I got to the peak. I grew through the process from project manager to senior system application analyst, from senior application analyst to a senior manager roles from a division. Then I became a director over 10 years. And exactly 10 years, I resigned from that particular role as a director. So when you look at what I'm talking about, I said you've got to start early. Number two tonight is give it all it takes. Laziness mindset needs to be removed from everything you do. Work as if your life depends on it. Once you have a job, don't toil with it. No matter how small that job is, make sure you appreciate what that job has bring and make sure you value it so that you don't regret when you lose that job. Because in every job, there is an opportunity in every job. It depends on what kind of value are you adding to that organization. As a CEO, as a board of director, I look for people that want to add value to my environment, to anything I do, not people that are going to be a body. So what I'm saying, if your work says start 8 a.m., if you are someone that wants to be able to create wealth through that career, why not start 7:45? Let people know that you dedicate time. You also add value. When people are leaving 4 o'clock, 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. when they're closing, why not give it extra time again to see what kind of value you can add to that career, that job that you have? So if you really want to make it in life, you've got to learn and also not only learn, because the more you learn, the more you reinvest, the more you innovate, and the more you earn, because your earning is synonymous to your learning in life. So you've got to study everything it takes. When I mean as a career person, give it all it takes. There are things that you've got to do. Make sure you do those things to be able to be in the center of the minds of directors, of senior managers, of your line, of your report managers or your reporting line, to see, so that when they're in the boardroom making decisions, you can say, they can actually mention your name. They'll say, "Oh yeah, I remember the others. The others, whenever he's in the mind, he works so hard. He give it time. He even created an application. He did this, he did that. Before before you know it, your name will be mentioned in high places. There are rooms that you can't be, but what you've done as a value to that organization will pave way for you where you are not present, in the presence of those directors or your line managers or senior executive role. So number three is get all the certifications you need that you can get for that job. Did anybody hear that? What did I say? Anyone? What was the number 3 points? Did anybody take note of that?
Yes, sir. You have to get all the certifications, sir.
You have to get all the certifications that you need to get. Now, if you say you want to become an IT analyst, as an analyst, there are professional qualifications you've got to do in that role. Because if you don't have the right qualification, your name can't be recommended when it is time. When you look at it in your place of work, that man that doesn't know anything, the only thing that puts that guy as an edge or that lady as an edge is because the person has a certification over you. But you have the right skill. You know the job more than that person. It has happened over and over in different places. As at my early age in life, while I was in year 2, my second year, I did a lot of qualifications. I was going mad at one point, but I put time into certifications. I did Java, SCJP, Sun Java Certified Programmer as a programmer. I did C++, I did ANN+, I did A+, I did CNN, I did CNNA for networking, I did CNNP. Then later on, I traveled to India. I did Red Ethical Hacking, then I did Linux in India. I give it all it takes. Afterwards, I also went to Germany to do SAP. I studied the whole core 12 module of SAP. And every time, you've got to just get that certification. Because in the world of work where we are today, the only thing your work recognizes is your certification in that job. Because when you have the right certification, when there's going to be maybe probably an appraiser, or maybe when people are going to be coming from industry to evaluate the company, your name will be mentioned and be put forward first. In recent times, for example, there was a course that was created in Dover University of Technology, which is Bachelor of IoT. That's a Bachelor of Internet of Things. And it happens to be that in the whole of the faculty, I was the only one that has qualification, that has a PhD in IT and also an IoT certification, and also has an SAP qualification, not only the lower one, but the ISS certification in SAP. And when they were putting the curriculum together, decision can be made if I'm not around. That is what certification can do for you. And don't forget that when any course is being created, when curriculum has been designed, it goes to the highest level for approval. To the extent that when it got to CHE and higher health, I was called to say, "Are you Dr. Aroba?" Out of nowhere, your CV is part of this, and you are the one leading this. And I said, "Yes, ma'am." Just imagine somebody who is a foreigner was able to pave way for that course. And now I can boldly tell you that course is now offered. More than about 400 students are doing those particular certificates now as a Bachelor of IoT in Dover University of Technology. What am I saying? Certification pave ways. When people are discussing in different areas, you have to just be able to present something that can make you recognized. You've got to keep developing yourself. Over 10 years, when you develop yourself over 10 years, you will be at the peak of that career in no time. As a matter of fact, today, when people look at me, when they say, "Oh, if I was actually going on the road of career at an early stage in life, I wouldn't have actually been where I am today. I would have actually been a professor maybe about 5, 7 years ago. But because I went to create businesses, then about 3 years ago, I came into academics. And I didn't just come into academics, I came into academics because I want to be able to create a business in that academics. And as a result of that, that's how you guys are here. I'm not charging you, but we are here to just add value because I want to create, to bring out the wine and the gold in you. Because if you don't plant a seed now, the seed can never germinate in life. So, fellow Zillionaire, it is not about the scripts that people tell you. It is about you having the legal certificates. It's about you having how you can be able to develop yourself. If I tell you today, when you type artificial intelligence on Google, when you look at top speakers on Google today in South Africa, my name is going to be part of them if you can Google it out. I've spoken in different varsities, top varsities in the world. In South Africa, I've spoken in Cape Town, UCT. I've spoken at different areas, the guest speakers, keynote speakers. On weekly basis, I do that because of my certifications and my certificates of relevance in the place of career. Certification does what? It opens doors for you. You can imagine it at your office because that manager doesn't have that certificate. If you have that certificate, your name is going to be mentioned in different places. So get the right certification. Number 4, network strategically. Number 4, network strategically. There are gatekeepers in everywhere you are. You know whom we call gatekeepers? These are people in the room. These are people that does not know you, but they know, they've heard about who you are. These are people that have not seen you, but they recognize what kind of strategic alliances you are bringing to the organization. What kind of partnership and deals you are bringing to the organization. In recent times, I took some of my students from South Africa to the United States, and every one of them, at the end of the day, I never even knew that the VC could actually hear about it. And as a matter of fact, afterwards, I was sent to Spain, to France, to Germany as a result of that single thing that I did, where I placed the student value above my needs. And they all went to the United States through online collaboration that I initiated. I brought that into a limelight. So you've got to ask yourself some questions. in your workplace, in that office where you are, the CEO, the CFO, the key decision executives in that organization, do they know you? Do they know the value you bring to that organization? And you've got to know that the people that make decisions in your workplaces, it is no more secret that they are people that make decisions in the boardroom. These are people that will tell you, that will speak on your behalf where you are not present. And there are people that can actually be proud of you, and they can even be bold about you because you are able to network strategically. Anywhere you go in life, wherever you find yourself, fellow Zimenez, make sure you know those who are the who in that organization. Make sure you make decisions. Make sure you add value to them. You don't even need to buy them anything. Just look for what value you can create. Because money has a soul, money has a spirit, and money has a body. And the soul of that career that you are in is that of the networking part of it. Because when they know you, you'll be able to make decisions. They'll be able to mention your name where you're not present. As a matter of fact, today, there are places I am not present. Kings, vice chancellors, pro-vice chancellors of varsities in South Africa and beyond, in the UK, they mention my name in places I'm not present. But that guy is done ABC for us. He's done ABC. What will people say when you leave that organization? And what value have you added to that person's life? Everybody I meet in life, as a career person, I see what kind of value I'm going to add to them, no matter how little it is. I understand you're busy. I understand you want to be able to do everything. You don't have much time. But look for that little thing you can create. So what am I saying? Network strategically in everything you do. Volunteer to them. There are some things you'll be struggling with. Volunteer at that workplace. Maybe there are some applications they don't know. Volunteer to do it. Learn from them. Sometimes also ask them that, please, can you be my mentor? And before you know it, there is an incident in recent times. There was a vice chancellor and a vice chancellor. I went to Ghana in recent time with my wife, and we went on a tour. And I think I'm happy. I think I saw Frank earlier on. So Frank actually was in Ghana. It was his varsity. I just went there. I was speaking at the United Nations as a speaker. And at the end of the day, the vice chancellor heard that I came, but he was not around. When he came to South Africa, we hosted him. Just recently, everywhere you go in University of Ghana, my name is mentioned in every high-level places. He said to them that whatever they want to do, my name must always be there as a result of just little things, little value we'll be able to add to their life. Every rich man, every wealthy man need one thing or the other. But learn to know how to network strategically. Number 5 point is that you've got to understand the business of your career. For everything you do, maybe as a business analyst, there is a business of that career. It is different from the job of that profession. So in every career path, there is a business side. Many people don't understand this. I need you to ask yourself a question. That in this career, let's say if you are a teacher, there was one of my mentees that met me in recent times. She was retiring, and she said to me, "Mentor, I have retired. You don't even ask after me." I said, "Oh, what happened?" "So I have retired." I said, "Oh, you retired?" I said, "Congratulations." He said, "Mentor, but I'm not making money. Pension is not coming." I said, "But have you been able to sit down?" I said, "What did you even study again? Remind me again." She said she actually finished. She was lecturing French in that varsity, and she's done everything. She's an aged person. She's I think in her early 60s, 61, 62. And she told me that, "Mentor, money doesn't count." I said, then you've got to go sit down to look at the business in that thing that you've done. You have been a teacher for all your life, you've been a lecturer for all your life, and you've not created anything, you've not written books, you've not been able to look at how to interpret for embassies, you've not been able to look to be maybe a translator for United Nations, you've not gone to volunteer in different areas that you can use your skills as that French translator to create business, to set up a consultant to hospitals to be interpreting for them, for you to be able to. Then I start. And by the time we're done, 5 months later, she told me that, sir, I'm super busy now with my team. There are businesses now everywhere. She's written books. She's created businesses as interpreting organizations. But she never knew because she was only teaching French, lecturing French in universities, colleges, and things like that all her life. Imagine if she knew the business in that career at an early stage. Maybe you're in our midst tonight. You're an accountant, for example. Or maybe you're a farmer. All you've been doing all your life is for you to just doing all these things that I call you just planting, you just writing. There are business to that side of things. I don't know what kind of whatever you study, there is a business side to it. You can be a consultant, you can create a company, you can be able to even collaborate with others, you can be able to see how you can create values in different areas. You've got to look at how to understand the business in that career. I always tell people that you need to stop deceiving yourself because in that career there is a voice. Because where there is a voice, there is an invoice. Do you get it? In every business, where you have a voice, as I'm speaking, there is a business. And in that business, there is a voice. But by the time I'm gone with the consultation, I issue them an invoice and they make payment to my account or company account. You get it? I don't know if you've ever sat down to look at how to create that business in that thing that you have been created to do. I don't know what kind of career you have. I don't know what kind of career you're practicing. I don't know what kind of profession you profess to be. But do you know in that career, as we've mentioned, the point number one, we said start early. Point number two, we said give it all it takes. Point number three, we said get all the certification that is required. And point number four, network strategically. And point number five is understand the business of your career. Perhaps you might be a medical doctor in here with us. Are you the kind of person that only just want to work at that workplace in the hospital for 100 years, for 20 years? If you create a center for yourself, it doesn't take more than 30, 40,000 to start a practice as a medical doctor. When you see about 10 patients a day, if you're charging about 500 rand per patient, you make about 10,000 on the average. I mean, on daily basis, 5,000 on the worst markets on daily basis. And by the time you see about 50 patients in a week, that's about 25,000. And in a month, you're talking about 100,000 rand. Maybe your equivalent, you're talking about dollars. You've got to understand the business. The other day, I was sitting down with one of my mentees. I said, you know what? You can actually make 1,000,000 rand in a year if you want to. He said, how? I said, look at it. Have you ever sat down to think about how can you make 1,000,000 rand? When you look at the numbers, look at 1,000,000 rand as a simple money. Now, when you sit down very well, when you divide 1,000,000 rand, divide it by 12, you find that it's about maybe 70 something or 80 something thousand. By the time you put it into a month, I mean about 80,000 or 81,000 thereabouts. And if you divide it into a week, it means that you can actually earn about 20,000 or 22,000 a week. And in every day, if you divide it by number of days, on the average, it means per hour you can charge 500 rand an hour. By the time you look at it, if you're someone that works about 500 rand an hour or 400 rand an hour in a day, it means you're going to do average of about 9 to 10 hours or 8 to 10 hours. In a day, you make 5,000 rand. When you multiply it, You will thank me later. So, friends, fellow zillionaires, you've got to know that in every career, there is a business to that career. I told you as an earlier on that there are three pillars to wealth creation. I said entrepreneurship part is number one, where people create businesses and things like that. And I also said the other one is the investment part, which is for investors, people that have made enough money and you start reinvesting the money to start creating for you while you are still working on that job. And as a matter of fact, we've actually treated a lot of topics in the past. And I want to believe we've actually started putting all those things in place because this is where we come to check and balance ourselves to see if we're actually practicing these things, these principles. Because all over the world is the same principle for the world wants that we all use and practices everywhere. If you practice the principle, you can create anytime. 1 million rand is not hard to get. 20 million rand is not hard to get. 500,000 is not hard to get. It depends on what kind of principle are you practicing and what kind of people, what kind of skills, what kind of group do you belong to. Do you belong to those that only think about 20,000 rand a month? Do you belong to a group of a part where we talk about entrepreneurship not only by suiting up, by having complimentary card and speaking English? No. And the bank account is not even balancing what you're wearing. No, it's about you creating, you practicing, you self-discipline yourself in different areas. So, friends, point number 6. This takes me to point number 6, which is savings. I always say that if you don't save, you will not be saved in the day of adversity. Savings is very important. Hear me loud and clear. Like what we said when we started, we talked about the 20 questions of you, how you can actually set up on this journey. You see, there are a lot of people at this point in time. This is 9:40, this is 7:40 South African time in the evening. A lot of people are busy watching movies or they are busy doing other things, but you are here learning, giving yourself to study. It's a weekend, but you're here exercising, taking notes judiciously, religiously, putting everything into practice as you go in life on daily basis so that when we come back again, you are able to recreate. Nobody will be able to help you on this journey except you help yourself. You don't want to repeat the kind of mistake your father has made, the kind of mistake your grandfather has made, the kind of mistakes that your ancestors have made. If you are not from a rich home, make sure a wealthy home is from you tonight. Savings is very important. Savings begin with an end in mind. In every time you want to save, make sure you begin with an end in life. Every money that comes to you as a present, as a past, and as a future. Any money that comes to your hands must be divided into three means. Number one is your present, which is your basic needs, your bills. Divide it. Wherever you stay, the rent you pay, if where you are staying, the kind of rent you pay is more than 40% of your salary, it's the wrong place that you are staying. Hear me loud and clear. You've got to practice everything we're talking about. And that is the present. And your past, maybe you are owing bills, you're owing credit cards, and things like that. Those are your past. Any money that comes into you. A lot of people go to church, they pray from morning to night. Oh, God, bless me with 1 million rand, bless me with $1 million. But at the end of the day, God is saying, I've been giving you your future. By the time it is December, you look at how much God has created and blessed you with. Because for every money God is giving you, all the money you're meant to have on earth, every month God is paying them through one means or the other. Maybe through salary, maybe through that business deal, maybe through that skills. But you've not realized it to know that there is a future in that money God is giving to you. And also, you've got to save 20 to 30% of that money. You've got to create an account for investments. Because if you don't practice these things, you can't become saved in the days of adversity. Because when you eat everything that comes to your hands, it means that you are a witch or a wizard. You know, they normally say that when a woman kills the child, her own child, it means that she's a witch, which means you don't want to see the future. It means you are a witch or a wizard technically. But yeah, in this zillionaire group, I do believe that we want to create wealth. We want to be able to look at the future and plant seed to be able to germinate. Because as a career person, you don't want to work 20 years, 30 years and retire for pension. Pension is a scam. You want to be able to have businesses, creating businesses for you. And again, I understand some people were asking in our previous sessions that yes, now that we know all these things, we want to start seeing businesses, we want to start. But no, if you don't have a solid foundation, friends, zillionaires, you can't give what you don't have. You will stumble. When you want to build a house, you've got to make sure it is deeply rooted. Because if it is not deeply rooted, when adversity comes, that house is going to be washed away. When problem comes, all whatever you have is not going to save you. But when you save for adversity, you'll be able to have something for future. Until you begin to take this journey of yourself to save and creating in different areas. As a career person, you can actually do a lot of things. Become wealthy. You don't need to own a piece of everything. You don't need to be CEO in everywhere. You don't need to be executive director in everything. But just a piece of pie here, there, easy equity here, investment here, bond here, housing here, hotels here, investing in hotels here, owning a piece of land here, building a property here, collaborating with people here and there, investing in shares, in FX market, in gold, and everything like that. When you glue them together, you will know that these things are going to save you. They're going to save you in the days when you have adversity. If you're not tired of poverty, or poverty rather, poverty is tired of you. Because poverty is saying the billboards, you've been a brand ambassador for poverty for a while. Poverty is saying, no, I'm tired of you. I want to change. I want to change the brand ambassador. I don't want you again because you're not improving, you're not saving, you're not investing in businesses. You're just eating everything that comes to you. You're not looking at how to think, how to save, how to compound, how to multiply for future. It takes minimum of 3 to 5 years to be able to build wealth on the career portal. There is a difference between having a profession in the career and there's a difference between you having a business in that career. So in this world, when you have money, people will investigate the source of the money. But when you are poor, nobody will investigate your source of poverty. Nobody has time. But when you're wealthy, people will start investigating you. If you want to make money, you've got to start looking at what other people do to make more money. Are you that kind of person that when I say in the next 2 months, to say, you know what, there are a lot of people that are coming to pitch a lot of business in our garden in September. If they are saying this business is 1 million rands or it's 100,000 minimum to invest, are you going to be ready for it? Tell yourself the fact that you refuse to be poor. Very soon, you don't want to turn to become an ancestor of yourself because you're not getting younger on a daily basis, you're getting older. You don't want to end up like your father, like your mother, in 1 room, in 2 rooms, in 3 bedrooms, and that's all they've got. You want to have many properties that's multiplying for you. Let me tell you, on this journey we're in, this journey we're holding ourselves hand to hand like this, because we know that we rise by lifting each other. Some people will forsake you on this journey. You will lose friends because you will not be able to spend like the way you normally spend before. On Fridays, maybe you are someone, when you collect the salary, 20,000 go for 2,000 go for alcohol. I can't kill myself. I've got to enjoy. Yibo. It doesn't come cheap. It doesn't come cheap. It takes sacrifice and self-denial and discipline. This is the time that you've got to watch everything you spend. You remember we've had series of how to lay foundation. We have templates. I show you practically of what I do as a family, as an individual. Every of our kids have an account. They have businesses. They have things that are running and generating things for them. When they want to go to varsity, maybe it's MIT or Harvard, we don't need to stress because from the day they were born or a few months after they were born, an account has been created for them on a monthly basis. Some portion of money goes to them for their varsity, for their education. Maybe they want to buy a car, they want to buy their first house, apart from the ones who bought for them. For friends, fellow zillionaires, make sure that every money you make is in tripartite mode. Money is a spirit, and it has a body, and it has a soul. Money goes where there is value. That's why they call it currency. It works based on geolocation, current location. And the body of money has what I call the past, the present, and the future. And money has what we call a spirit. Any money you make takes care of your past, which is your bills and debts that you've incurred in the past. And your present is taking care of your financial obligation at the moment. And your future is your savings and investments. You can actually save whatever you want in life. Rule number 7, which is going to be the last rule I'm going to talk about today, is invest massively. Invest what? Massively. Saving itself. Saving money aside for a purpose. Investing in sending your money on assignments to make more money for you. So that every money you invest will go out there to work for you and give you second leg, third leg, 4 legs, or 5th legs, so that you don't want to retire when you resign. At the end of the day, you are waiting for the scam that we call pension, UIF. I don't know what they call it in your country. It's a scam. After 6 months of retirement, the government will tell you that they don't have the foreign reserve any longer. I had a different mindset about retirement at an early stage in life because I already knew that it was a scam. When they want to pay you, they take some certain amount of money from your salary. But when you go to claim that money, they tell you, sorry, can you bring this and bring that and that? Get maybe if your parents are still alive, or if not, they still go back to trace. You see that I'm saying that is true. What I'm saying is true. There are a lot of things we can invest into. And there is a lot of things we can do. Remember, we started that you've got to save at least 6 to 8 months of your living expenses so that you can be safe. 1,000 good intentions are as powerful as you doing what? Taking action now. So friends, colleagues, families, fellow zillionaires, I believe you've actually been able to learn something new today. And what do you think? Thank you so much. I want to take feedback from you. What do you learn tonight? Anyone wants to share that is new to you tonight? Do that? What have you learned tonight? Michelle, welcome. What have you learned tonight? Michelle, are you with us? Michelle? Okay, friends, fellow Zillionaires, this is the end of our class of our meeting tonight. And I want to also use this period to remind every one of us that we do have what I call a Zillionaire gathering for the